Today we are diving into the incredible and heartbreaking story of the Titanic. Get ready for a journey back in time to the early 90s, where a gigantic ship set sail on its very first trip, thinking it was unthinkable. But as we will find out, things didn't quite go as planned. So imagine this is the early 90s, and a super cool company called the White Star Line had this dream of building the biggest, fanciest ship ever, the Titanic. They wanted it to be a floating palace, with all the luxuries you can think of. Picture big rooms, and even a gym. It was like a floating party on the ocean. They had the smart design team, who made sure the ship had the latest technology to keep it safe, like spatial compartments, to stop it from sinking if something bad happened. People were so excited about the Titanic. Instead, they couldn't wait to hop on board for its very first trip. All right, fast forward to April 1019 to Wall. That's when the Titanic started its first journey, from England to New York City. People from all around booked tickets for this epic adventure. There were rich folks, families looking for a new start in America, and a bunch of workers making sure everything ran smoothly. Now here is where things get crazy. On the night of April 14th, 19 to all, the Titanic got some warnings about icebergs ahead. But oops, the crew talked. The ship was so awesome and incredible that Dad didn't slow down. Despite trying to turn away, the ship crashed into the iceberg, and things went from awesome to disaster real quick. The Titanic was hurt and it couldn't stay afloat. Panic broke out as people realized the ship was in big trouble. The crew scrambled to get lifeboats in the water. But guess what? There weren't enough lifeboats for everyone on board. It was like trying to fit too many puzzle pieces into a small box. Now in the middle of all this chores, there were some heroes. Captain Edward Smith, the big boss of the ship, stayed on board until the end. Crew members worked hard to help people get on lifeboats. Send your short, incredible bravery, helping each other's out. But sadly, not everyone could be saved. The ship started sinking, and it was a scary scene. People were rushing to get on lifeboats, and the freezing cold water made everything even scarier. Some people made it onto lifeboats, while others tried to stay afloat on anything they could find. As the Titanic sank, it became clear that this wasn't just a story about a ship. It was a story about people, their hopes, their fears, and their heartbreaking goodbyes. The cold water and a tough enemy, and many lives were lost. At night after the disaster, people wanted answers. Why did the Titanic sink? Who was to blame? Investigations were launched, and chances were made to make sure something like this never happened again. New rules and safety mirrors were put in place. 4 ships, and we even got something called International Ice Patrol to keep an eye on icebergs. The story of the Titanic did not end with the sinking. In the years that followed, explorers found the Titanic's wreck at the bottom of the ocean. It was like discovering a time capsule from the past. The wreck gave us more clues about what happened that night, and helped us learn from the mistakes of the past. So there you have it. The simple tale of the Titanic is, it started as a dream of luxurious ship, turned into a disaster at sea, and left us with lessons to remember. The Titanic story is not just about a big board. It's about the people who were on board, their courage, and the lessons we have learned to make sure history doesn't repeat itself. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating stories. Until next time, stay curious.